Hey scrappers, it's Tom from the iScrap app, and wherever you're watching us this week, we welcome you to our weekly report, where you can learn about scrap metal prices, news, ask us questions about materials, or ask our advice on the markets. If you're looking to ask those questions, ask us whether it's live or after, and we'll always get you those answers. Come on in, let's go talk scrap.
Live. We're on. Hey, scrappers, Tom from the iScrap app. And today is Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. Now, hey, I'm going to give you an idea. I know that you're probably watching this live, or you might have watched this after we recorded it, and you're saying to yourself, oh man, I almost forgot that it was 1 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday. Well, if you have a smartphone, just set a reminder and say, hey Siri or hey Google, set a reminder every week at 1 p.m. to tune in and listen about the scrap prices, the markets, and learn about all types of stuff. So if you have any questions while we're live on all of our social platforms right now, please let us know. I would love to answer those questions. We have a bunch of questions from the last few days that we're going to get to. We're going to talk about the markets. We're going to talk about prices. But first, do not forget to download the new iScrap app 2.0. Free for your iPhones, free for your Google phones, your Droid-based phones. Gives you the ability to see so many prices. Over 200 prices are on there with different averages that are moving every single day with the markets. Why are those prices moving? Well, why don't we talk about those right now? Over the last week, we've seen these markets really be crazy. I was just saying to Missy a couple of seconds ago that we saw a 10% change in the copper prices in about 3.5 to 4 trading sessions. Now, to give you an idea, on a daily basis, copper normally moves between 0 and 2% up or 0 and 2% down. So in a 3 or 4 day period, we saw a 10% movement down, and then we gained another 5% from bottoming out, which was yesterday. I woke up yesterday morning, I saw copper prices up like 7 or 8 cents a pound. That was like 4:30 in the morning. By the time I got into my office at 7 o'clock, the market was even. And by the time I looked at 9:30, the market was down 9 cents. And then at the end of the day, it recovered. So a lot of people are going to say, why is there such volatility? Why are the markets moving so much? Well, the markets are moving for a flurry of reasons right now. The Chinese markets were closed Monday and Tuesday, so that had a little bit of an impact where the Chinese buyers, who are of course buying thousands of tons of copper every day, they weren't working as much as they normally would. I don't know if anyone can truly disconnect nowadays, but they were not working Monday and Tuesday. This morning, we saw the markets jump up about 11 cents, which means they kind of woke up from their 4-day weekend and they hopped back into things. We also saw this big thing called Evergrande, right? I'm not talking like Evergrande, Evertree, the shipping companies that you see all over the place. But Evergrande was a company where I didn't know much about it until the last few days, but is one of the largest real estate owning companies and lenders in China, not only having a footprint in China, but also across the world. Supposedly tomorrow, the 23rd, they could be defaulting on a $300 billion payment and all these different debt structures that they have. And that was the primary reason we saw such volatility on Monday in the markets. If you follow the stock market at all, whether you traded or you just listened to the news, at one point on Monday, we saw the stock market down 900 points. That's like 3 or 4%. Now, it didn't end down 900 points, but what it did show is that things were run up. A big piece of news with this Evergrande company came out, and that had a drastic effect on the markets. And when you have large dollars involved in anything, that's going to affect the markets. That's going to spook investors. And I think that a lot of investors right now are really going day to day because we've seen such money pumped into the market that they don't know where the commodity markets and the scrap markets are going to be going. And people are really concerned because of the amount of inflationary price increases that we've saw on these different commodity markets. So, that's something that we watch for, and that's why updating and posting the prices that you've received at your scrap yards is so important. Now I'm going to completely flip things, get away from the bad news that was the other day, because we really did have good news considering we saw an increase of 20 cents per pound from the market bottoming out yesterday. But that spooked scrap yards, so you might see a little bit of hesitancy for yards to up their price, because when you see massive decreases, you generally don't see scrap yards increasing as quickly as the decreases came, because a lot of traders aren't going to be as aggressive. Now, listen, we're getting a new truck at Rockaway Recycling, and what we need your help with is a new license plate. 7 digits. We're going to have 2 different winners. We're going to be giving out DeWalt tools. So if you have an idea for something that we should put on our license plate, let me tell you what we're looking for. No vulgarity, scrap or metal related, and something that I want to put onto the license plate. So we're going to have 2 winners. The first one is going to be whoever has the most votes from our community of scrappers. And the second winner could be the same as the first, will be whatever license plate we end up actually putting on the truck, because who knows if it's registered at the DMV already. And I was saying to the team here, there's no reason for bad ideas not to be rewarded if I can't register at the DMV. I can't wait to go to the DMV. Always my favorite place to go visit. But so that's going on. So we're really, really excited about that. Now, if you haven't downloaded the newest version of the iScrap app, that means that you haven't seen some of the prices that have been on there. And we've seen the aluminum markets really having nice price increases, and scrapyards are starting to pay a lot of money for aluminum. Never the same dollar amount as copper, but we've seen sheet aluminum prices in the 53 to 55 cent average range. And I remember a year ago, that number was only in the 30 to 35 cent range. So to see an increase of 65% year over year, that's a phenomenal increase. And on top of that, scrapyards are paying more for different higher grades of aluminum, 6061, 6063. And of course, if you don't know a lot about those grades, go on to the iScrap app, scroll right down. If you see here, you see all these lists of prices here. You keep scrolling your way right down. You'll be able to see not only the name of the price, but also you can tap on it and you can see a description, a video, and other reported prices. So inside, it's not just a price list. It expands to more information to be able to feed you knowledge for the scrap industry. I was talking to my accountant earlier today, and he was asking me, what do we do with some of the iScrap alerts? And what we've tried to really put out there is what our goal is to share information that you can't get otherwise. There isn't a scrap dedicated resource on the market, on the internet, like the iScrap app that specifically caters to scrappers. Sure, there's a forum and there's some groups, but the iScrap app is fully dedicated to making sure that the scrappers learn about the markets, learn how to sort and separate materials, and of course, learn how to make more money with your scrap. Now, let's go to some more good news that we've seen, and that's from the catalytic converter side of things. Now, we did see big price decreases the last week of August and the first week and a half to 2 weeks of September. We saw rhodium prices dropping below $10,000 an ounce. We saw platinum prices dropping below $900 an ounce. And when we get back from this short break, I'll tell you about the palladium prices and the nice rebound that we've seen over the last couple of days.
At rrcats.com, we have everything that you need to sell your catalytic converters. We have an easy quoting system that you can send pictures or serial numbers to. We have the ability to get your cats graded within 1 business day. You'll get quick payment via PayPal or check. If you look at our Google reviews and our other online reviews, you will feel confident with the team at rrcats.com to be able to purchase your catalytic converter time and time again. We look forward to earning your business at rrcats.com today.
So here we are. We see the palladium prices rebounding to follow suit with the platinum prices. Those platinum prices did drop below $900 per ounce, but they've actually climbed and almost are at $1,000 an ounce at last check about 15 minutes before we started doing this broadcast. So we've seen those markets increase. Rhodium went from 9,000 up to 13,000. Palladium prices were in the $1,800 range. We've seen them climb back over $1,900 an ounce. And the team over at rrcats.com has been able to quote these things and give you up-to-date prices. And we've also sent out indications and warning emails that the markets have dropped. And one of the things that we really take pride at RR Cats is sharing information, and by having prices posted online. And while we're in the middle of building our own pricing guideline, we're going to give current customers and then new customers the opportunity to know what their cats are worth with serial numbers. And I know that there are a lot of different apps out there that can give you quotes on catalytic converters, but there's a few things to keep in mind whether or not you sell to rrcats.com. One, is the company that's giving you those quotes even located in the country? Two, what are some of the reviews on other companies that say that they can pay you the highest dollar and they want you to send those quotes in, those cats in? How do you know that you can really have faith in them? You want to be able to look at something like RR Cats reviews or other customers' recommendations through the Scrap Metal Recycling group on Facebook or on Instagram or through YouTube or any of the social platforms that we're part of. You'll start to learn about the markets. You'll start to learn about the ups and the downs, things to look for, how to ship, how to get free labels. And these are going to be things that help you grow and learn inside of the catalytic converter buying world. Now, let's go forward thinking. For the rest of this month, we do see the catalytic converter prices remaining strong going into October as well. Hopefully, supply chains will get solved, which will really help a lot of the issues that we've had for the catalytic converter prices. Now, we want to talk about our favorite bucket, and that's our white iScrap branded bucket, and we want to talk about what's in this bucket. Now, normally I don't look, but don't tell anyone I peeked today. And today when I looked real quick and I go, oh, that's not supposed to be there. But here we are, and we have a camera. And when you look at this camera, you might say, hey, I see you wherever you are, but what can you do with this camera from first glance on how to make more money with it? Now, right off the bat, it's about a 2.5 pound unit. And what I love about this unit is that it's all aluminum. Having an aluminum casing, you have aluminum case on the outside. But what I don't like, and you can see here, are some of these star screws. Now, we've talked about different screw bits from computer videos that we've made, and it's a very great investment for you to buy a 40, 50, or 60 drill bit piece of equipment, preferably from DeWalt, that has all of the little tips on the end to help you take these hex screws out. Now, this does have a piece of glass, but inside you'll see a little LED panel with some bulbs, nice aluminum 5052 grade in this setting. While you do see some dirty things on there like rubber, you will see copper wiring going through, and this is one of those things that you want to throw back in the bucket and save for a rainy day or save for when you're slow. This is definitely something that you want to take apart. You're going to end up making 3 to 4 times the amount of money. You're going to get some nice clean aluminum. And even if there are some leftover pieces of steel, you might be able to sell it as a sheet aluminum. But if you sell it as is, you're not going to make more than 10, maybe 20 cents per pound in today's market. So throw those items that you can upgrade into the bucket or the garbage can or the corner of your garage. And when you have time, line them all up, get the right screw bits put together, and that will help you make more money with your scrap, especially for these weird items you get once in a while. Now, we want to talk about the steel markets, and I've been really happy with the steel market as of late. In August, I talked to multiple traders in different mills that were saying that the markets were going to go down between $40 and $60 per ton. Well, not only have we not seen that decrease, we've actually started to see a little bit of a level up. I talked to a trader yesterday who believes that the market that we're seeing right now for steel has bottomed itself out, and they expect the current prices to be what you see for the balance of 2021. Now, through the iScrap app, we see the reported prices for light iron, $145, $165. We see the different prices for shred, for rotors, for bushing. So make sure you check out the iScrap app, report your prices, and check out other items that you might sell or be interested in selling if you're holding on to things. Now, do we have any questions that we want to go over from last week?
Yeah, let's
Great.
go over just a few here.
Okay.
So why do some yards not take brass shells?
Great question. My insurance agent every year asks what percentage of sales my brass shells were. Brass shells, believe it or not, are one of the most dangerous things to recycle. If they're put into the furnace and they don't have the primer and the powder removed, they could cause a massive disruption by having them blow up, possibly shooting out where some furnaces have open doors that material get thrown into, and they're just a really high liability. Some scrap yards do not like to buy these brass shells at all because instead of having a few mixed in that they could eventually have insurance claims on, they just don't buy them. They don't make money on that, and that solves that problem for them. Hey, one thing that we want to point out, if you are not a Patreon supporter, become one. With monthly DeWalt tool giveaways, our Patreon supporters not only get tips and videos that we don't post to all of our other social sites, but they learn more about the markets in new and different ways. So please check out our Patreon link. Become a supporter, which gives us not only the ability to answer your questions, but to make more videos and more content so you can keep making more money with all of your scrap. Let's go back into some of the questions that we had from last week.
How much copper recovery can we expect in an alternator?
So an alternator or a starter generally has 15 to 18% copper inside. They're normally a little higher rated than electric motors. They're a little more condensed. Do I recommend taking them apart? Well, if you have time, with the copper market the way that it is right now, it might be another item that you throw into the corner. Now, the first time that you take apart a motor, an alternator, or a starter, it's going to take you a significant amount of time. So make sure you have the right tools. And I would suggest taking one apart slowly and having another 5 to 10 lined up afterwards. So once you figure out how to take the first one apart, you can make more money on the others. Then you'll have a prepared steel, maybe 15 to 18% copper, and you'll definitely cash in 3 times higher than what you would selling otherwise. Another question.
All right, last one here.
Great.
What's the best way to go about getting the best price or results for selling, say, the electronic gold? I've been holding on to bins of PC boards and other electronic waste.
So electronic waste is one of the hardest items to really understand and to sell. One thing you want to do with your electronics is weigh up what you have, take really great detailed pictures, and then contact buyers locally and both online to learn about how they buy the material, who pays for shipping, what type of material recovery you can expect, and most importantly, what their reputation is, along with how you get paid. One of the things that we tell people all the time, whether it's through RR Cats or Rockwave Recycling, is when they ask for referrals, we say check out our Google reviews. Our company has well over 1,300 reviews, where many other people only have a few. What does that show? That shows that the company that you choose to work with, their online reviews will make you more or less comfortable with them. And of course, that all adds in when you go to make more money with your scrap. Now, scrappers, we'd love to hear your ideas, your questions, your thoughts. We want to see you download the app, report your prices, become a Patreon supporter, give us feedback, both good and bad, so we can improve, help you make more money with your scrap. Scrappers, this is Tom from iScrap. Today's September 22nd, 2021. Love tuning in with you. Can't wait to hear your questions and your feedback. And until next week, I'll scrap you later.
Thanks for checking out our scrap videos. By becoming a Patreon supporter today, you'll be entered into monthly giveaways for tools and other products to help you make more money with your scrap.